Level check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you're listening already and getting ready for the live streaming weather show, I'll be with you in less than 1 minute around the area. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, looks like all levels are, well, looks like all platforms are up and running. Haven't forgotten to hit any buttons today in less than a minute. This is Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. I'll be with you with the live streaming weather show. Okay, it is 7:15. Hi, everybody. This is Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer in the streaming center at Fox 19 now. We are going live at the present time. And basically what we have behind me here is our view from Mount Auburn looking over toward Norwood. I'll give it to you full screen here so you can see it better. And there you see some high thin cloud cover. And if you head down the center of the screen, basically if you head out this way from the center of the screen, you're heading toward Norwood. Over the smokestack here, you're heading out toward Avondale, and if you follow McMillan here and head east, you're going through Walnut Hills over toward East Walnut Hills in Cincinnati, just for those of you that are not familiar with that area. And that high cloud cover doesn't do much but stop the temperature from falling off quite a bit, so we are in for a milder night than last night and another really nice day tomorrow with some filtered sunshine moving into the Fox 19 Now viewing area. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our Turfway Park camera looking toward the west, actually the west-northwest. And this is the cloud cover that's coming our way. Again, some high, thin cloud cover that will continue over the tri-state. And you can actually see it if we zoom out here in a second. You can see there's no rain in the area. But if we zoom out, you can see that that cloud cover extends from southeast Missouri, northeast Arkansas, right up the Ohio River, on into Cincinnati, and then on up into northeastern Ohio. Okay, and that's important. I'll go back to full screen for you. So you can see that the cloud cover is right there. Now, next time we get through this, okay, we're going to, when this stops, I'll switch over to actual data, okay? That was data. Here's actual model data now, and you can see it's pretty much the same as we just saw. You can even see that cloud cover from right here in Arkansas, Missouri, also western Tennessee, right up the Ohio River Valley into Cincinnati. That's that high thin cloud cover. So the model here is doing a fine job. So let's just watch what's going to happen here as we go through the next few days, okay? Now, you've got to keep in mind when you're doing forecasting that models tend to get a little bit further and further and further from what's actually going to happen in the future as you get farther out in time. This particular model will go out 10 days if we let it go out that far, and oftentimes it's really good. It's just kind of the fine details that you have to modify or tweak a little bit as the day gets near. So let's go ahead and watch what happens here. Now you can see that there's just nothing heading our way precipitation-wise until we get right there into Thursday afternoon and evening. Okay, so then the heat of the day, maybe a little bit more humidity will help drive a few showers, maybe a few non-severe thunderstorms, but scattered. Not everybody will get rain Thursday afternoon and evening. They die down and then they come back during the day on Friday. This is by 1:50 p.m. After some heavier rainfall in the morning, it begins to die out. As we head through Friday evening, it dries. You get the rainfall there peaking in the warmest part of the day. And then if we get into after midnight, Thursday evening into Friday morning, you see another band of rainfall moves into the tri-state. And again, there could be a few heavy downpours with that. And that will continue to push off to the south and east. And here's good news for FC Cincinnati fans. If you're heading down to TQL Stadium on Saturday, it dries out and it begins to clear out. And the match is at about 2:30 p.m. And so the clearing will be in progress then, and the rain will have ended long before that, according to all the latest models. So it's looking like a good day to be down and watch some soccer down at TQL Stadium. Okay, Sunday looks dry also. Now we're into Monday morning, another band of cloud cover, no rainfall yet. During the afternoon hours of Monday, a few showers pop up right there, and then another system comes our way, bringing us the chance of rain late Tuesday evening, I should say, into Tuesday night and Wednesday. Okay, the European model continues to say that there will be some spots around the tri-state that end up with more than an inch of rain. They've shifted the focus a little bit. So from Cincinnati, southeastward to Batavia, down to West Union, Maysville, getting close to an inch in many spots. But for the most part, this is a total from Thursday through Friday into Saturday morning. And so even like the most 1.13 inches this model's kicking out at Batavia for that stretch of time is not that much for any flooding. So we're not looking again at severe weather. We're not talking about flooding rains. We're just talking about some typical rain, some typical thunderstorms, and it doesn't look like anything severe at the present time. Temperatures as of 7 p.m., which the current temperatures, low 70s in many locations, about an equal number of upper 60s around the tri-state, and temperatures range anywhere from a few degrees warmer than this time yesterday to a few degrees cooler than this time yesterday. And actually what you see there off to the west, you see over here where it's warmer. Well, big high pressure system is pushing off to the south and east. The winds are becoming more and more southerly out to the west, and so slight southerly flow is pushing warmer air already into the western part of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. And that should tell you, without getting as cool overnight, because of the southerly winds, because of the cloud cover that we're going to have, the high thin cloud cover, we're going to start off in the 50s and then should have no trouble making it into the upper 70s, maybe even a few spots like down in Owen County, maybe down in Lewis County hitting the 80-degree mark during the day tomorrow without the summertime humidity. And compare the winds to this time yesterday. Look at all the calms. So anywhere from 3 to 6 miles an hour or 0 to 6 miles an hour, so there's not much in the way of wind, and that's because we're right near the center of the high. The winds will pick up a little bit tomorrow, but not be anything extreme. So this evening, it's 70 right now. We expect the temperature to drop by 9 p.m. to 64, down to 58 by 11. We'll compare that later on tonight with what actually happens overnight. We are talking about a low temperature dropping off to 51 degrees officially. Winds will be calm, so no wind chill to worry about. And then many rural areas, and again, it's one of those things you get. A lot of city areas, and the area at the International Airport is close enough to a city to count, will drop off into the low 50s. Some rural areas, some valleys will drop off into the 40s. So kind of a cool start to the day tomorrow, but certainly not out of the ordinary and not uncomfortably cool, just not midsummer-like heat. Okay, so that's tonight, and then tomorrow we are looking at a high temperature right around 78 degrees, and as I mentioned, a few spots in the tri-state may very well end up having temperatures reaching the low 80s during the day tomorrow. Without summertime humidity, it looks like a great day to get out there and get some stuff done. Things will dry out a little bit more. So in my case, some of the leaves we didn't get picked up in the fall are kind of matted down and wet. I spread them out a little bit, let them dry out, and they're easy to move around. So again, it is still too early, even though all the models are pretty much saying that we only have a minimal chance of frost coming our way before Mother's Day. There's still that minimal chance, and all so often what happens is you think, okay, we're done with it, and then just around Mother's Day you get this little brush of cold air from Canada, and that drops the temperatures down to frosty levels. And so just be aware that if you've got some tomato sets or some tomato plants you've bought and you want to get them out there, just hold on to them for a while until we can be sure that there's not going to be any frost, especially tomatoes. They're very vulnerable to frost damage. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the morning commute forecast. Roads will be dry, skies mostly clear. Once again, sun glare will be an issue. Not quite as bad as this morning because of the high thin cloud cover, but sun glare will be an issue with temperatures in the upper 40s to middle 50s. Okay, Climate Prediction Center says that from the 28th through the 2nd of May, we are warmer than normal. Notice we're not too far from the core where the warmest of the warmer than normal temperatures are. So right down here is the area of the country that has the most, there's the warmest above the normal high, and we're right close to that. So as we head into the month of May, according to the Climate Prediction Center, we should be warmer than normal. The second half of their forecast overlaps a little bit, but from the 30th to the 6th of May, we stay warmer than normal. And then, of course, the 3 to 4 week temperature outlook, which will be updated on Friday, says we stay warmer than normal by a little bit at least, all the way past the middle of May to the 18th. Precipitation-wise, a little bit more than normal for the 6 to 10 day outlook. That's through May 2nd. A little bit more than normal, but a little drier weather coming our way through the 6th, and then through the 18th. another area where there's going to be more precipitation. And this all adds up to a fairly active weather pattern around the tri-state. So fairly active weather pattern, and we are talking about a slight chance of getting some severe weather. Now, I want to clarify that. I'm not talking specifically, and I'm not forecasting that right here in Cincinnati in the Fox 19 Now viewing area there will be severe weather for the last day of the month into the beginning of the new month. I'm saying that weather systems are beginning to look like they're going to arrange themselves so that somewhere in the eastern United States, that would be basically to the east of the Mississippi River, there may be some severe weather in the area, and that could include us. And so what this isn't a forecast, this isn't an outlook, this is a heads up that we're watching for the possibility of some severe weather to begin to develop as we head out of April into May. And I'll explain that coming up here in a couple seconds. Okay, right now I'll explain that. Okay, so what we're looking at here, we're looking at the winds at jets, or the temperature output, or actually the structure of the atmosphere, I should say, at jet stream level. And so the winds blow parallel to these bands. So the winds would be blowing like this, blowing like this, blowing like this. And right under where it says alert here, there's a system coming out of the Gulf of Alaska. So we're going to put that into motion, and I'll explain what we think is going to happen with this and why we're thinking there may be some severe weather. Okay, so it's going to take a while. It's going to come our way slowly. But you see the bluish green color, or the greenish blue color, moving out of the Gulf of Alaska, heading to the south. Now it weakens a little bit as it nears the coast of California and Oregon, but heads down the coast past San Francisco right there, and then that system is going to head and follow the dark blue arrow, okay? The subtropical jet stream at the same time will kick up, and basically what meteorologists say is that this low pressure system will phase in with the subtropical jet stream, forming a stronger pattern and head up to the Great Lakes. And that means that somewhere around here, from Texas on up into New England, there could be a swath where there's some severe weather. And notice the date, that says the 26th, okay? So this is the 26th when this low is right here. So as we head toward the end of the month, this low is going to work its way across the country. The subtropical jet will phase in. So as we get close to the beginning of May, or maybe the first day or two of May, we may see some severe weather beginning to brew around the tri-state. It's a heads up. It's saying, okay, keep in mind that there's going to be something happening. It may not affect us at all, but things are looking like that may be the case. And you'll see that on the 7-day, or on beyond the 7-day forecast. Okay, so that's what it looks like again. That low pressure system dips down out of the Gulf of Alaska, heads into the coast of California, kind of centered a little bit to the east of San Francisco on the 26th. And by the time we get into the 1st of May, it should be moving up into Canada or New England. And that means ahead of that, more than likely, a little bit of severe weather. Now, a lot of things have to happen before we get an outbreak of severe weather. So there's a lot of stuff that we can't even talk about at this point because we don't know yet. But you got to get enough low-level moisture. You've got to get the upper-level energy. It has to be at the right time of the day. All those things have to come together for there to be severe weather. But I'm saying that the jet stream configuration is such that we may see what's going to turn out to be a severe weather situation developing for part of the eastern United States. Too early to tell where, but it could, in fact, affect Cincinnati. Too early to tell what kind of severe weather we'll have if we have severe weather. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the 7-day forecast. We're looking at temperatures 51 and 78 on Wednesday, 56 and 80 on Thursday. Dry tomorrow and nice, really a mix of sun and clouds, maybe some filtered sunshine at times. After some morning sunshine Thursday, some scattered shower and thunderstorm activity. Friday looks like scattered showers and thunderstorms. I think more widespread than anything. A lot of it in the morning, then tapering off, and then refiring as we head into the hours after midnight into Saturday morning. The rain comes to an end Saturday morning, then Saturday afternoon clearing. A nice day on Sunday with a high of 68. Then, of course, the Reds come back into town, and so does the showery weather. 75 and 79 for Monday and Tuesday as the Reds play back at Great American Ballpark. Okay, here is beyond the 7-day forecast, and what you'll see here are the 2 days. Right now I've got it on the 30th of April and the 1st of May, where I'm saying watching for storms, okay? Now, if you, this could be the 28th and 29th of April, Could be the 30th and 1st, or it could be the 1st and 2nd. We just can't pin the timing down at this point, but it's looking like that configuration that I just explained to you could bring some severe weather to the eastern U.S., and that might include the Cincinnati area. Okay, and then we head into the 2nd. Friday is some showers. The 3rd on Saturday looks dry, as does Sunday the 4th, and then back to showery weather for the Monday and Tuesday, the 5th and the 6th. So here's what the temperature structure of the next 14 days looks like. We go to the 7-day plus, 7-day plus 7, so 14-day temperature forecast. There are the highs, there are the lows, and when we put the normal high and low lines on, you can see that we get warm. We get into the upper 70s, stay in the 70s for a 5-day stretch. The system comes through and we see the temperatures drop to a little bit below normal. Very typical of what happens. When a storm system comes our way, typically we get warmer and more humid. Behind the storm, we typically have less humidity and cooler weather. And that happens on both the high side and the low side. So we will be, again, watching as we leave April and enter May. We're going to be looking for a system that could bring some severe weather to the tri-state. And again, what are the scenarios? A, it may not happen at all. 2, it could happen, but only in a few spots, not in the viewing area. It could happen in the Cincinnati area and a couple other spots. It could be widespread. It's just too early to tell because so many different components have to get together exactly right to get a major outbreak of severe weather. So we're not calling for a major outbreak. We're saying we're just watching that all the weather systems seem to be beginning to align themselves for some kind of a severe weather episode east of the Mississippi River, and maybe west of the Mississippi River when you're as far south as Dallas, so eastern Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, things like that. Okay, let me go ahead and check and see if we got anybody on Facebook. I hope most people are out enjoying the weather rather than sitting here watching me on Facebook. But if you needed some weather information, we'd like to provide it for you. All right, first person up, Richard Atchley. Said he's going to miss me when I retire. And again, for those of you that aren't aware of it, my retirement was supposed to be about a month ago, and then we had somebody leave the staff. I moved my retirement to the end of May to help hire until we could hire another person. Well, then Frank Marzullo left, and I moved my retirement to the 28th of August. So, and Richard actually says he knows I'll enjoy having more time with my wife and my dogs. Absolutely. And he hopes the next meteorologist does the 10 days like I do. I think they will. That's pretty much something that we're going to pretty much do from here on out. All right, Shirley Markham Grants Hufford says, God bless me, and hope I start a new chapter in my life. You know, the whole thing I hope the most is that the next chapter is a long one. Richard actually said, when's your last day? Right now it's scheduled to be the 28th of August. Thoughts on the next Tuesday system? Okay, so yeah, that's the one I was just talking about. I'm saying that I think there'll be, this is Colton Andrews, says, thoughts on next Tuesday and Wednesday system. Well, okay, Wednesday is the 30th, Tuesday's the 29th, and I just mentioned that 28th, 29th, 30th, 1st, 2nd of May, that stretch of time is when we could see some severe weather around the tri-state as those systems come our way. So that system coming out of the Gulf of Alaska sweeps into the U.S. It phases together with the subtropical jet stream. They form a stronger system and head to the north and east. And it could be modified quite a bit before then. But I think we'll be talking about some severe thunderstorm activity possible that time, but not necessarily in Cincinnati. So when we head into the end of the month, the beginning of May, we'll more than likely be talking about some severe weather activity around the eastern United States. Too early to tell specifically where, though, but it's just good to know that that's when we have to watch out for it. Molly Purcell Pollock says, hello, beautiful Tuesday. Wow, 78 tomorrow? Absolutely. And the great thing about 78 at this time of year is it's 78 without that summer humidity, so it feels good outside in the sunshine. And then Katie Marshall says, hello, Steve from Middletown. Hello, Katie. Hope everything's well up there. And those are all the comments right now. So let me go back over the 7-day forecast. And what I'll do, if there aren't any more comments, we'll call an end there. All right, so here comes the 7-day forecast. I'll give it to you full screen as soon as it loads. You'll see it load up behind me there in just a second or two. All right, so the 7-day forecast looks like this. We're talking about a low tonight of 51, a high tomorrow of 78 with a mix of sun and clouds, 80 on Thursday with some morning sunshine and some afternoon scattered storms. So not everybody's going to get rain Thursday, and we do not expect severe weather. Friday, scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast once again. Probably more widespread than what we get on Thursday. And then after midnight into Saturday morning, another part of that system will bring us some showers and thunderstorms. And the good news is that activity comes to an end early in the morning hours, probably by 10 a.m. on Saturday, and that means the weather looks good for FC Cincinnati's match down at TQL Stadium. 46 and 68 for Sunday with lots of sun, so a cool start but a nice day. Monday, the Reds are back in town, so are the showers and thunderstorms. Up mid-70s on Monday, upper 70s on Tuesday. Okay, then when we go to beyond the 7-day forecast, here is that the 30th and the 31st I've got labeled here as we're watching for storms. But as I mentioned, that could be as early as the 28th and the 29th. Could be the 29th and 30th and 1st, or the 1st and 2nd. But it's in that stretch of time. But I've kind of zeroed in on the 30th and the 1st. So we're watching for that stormy system that may or may not develop. Again, I'm still saying it may not be anything, but it's got all the makings of potentially evolving into a storm system that would bring some severe weather to the eastern U.S. Okay, then high temperatures cool off. Notice we go from the mid and upper 70s down to the upper 60s and low 70s. And you can get an idea where that stands relative to normal here. When we use 7-day plus, there are your highs, there are your lows. Put on the normal high and low temperature lines, and you see that we go to below normal on both the high and the low temperature side. And that's pretty typical of what happens in behind a major system like that. All right, one more quick check. Okay, Richard actually said, how is the hurricane outlook? It's looking like we probably will have more hurricanes than normal. Typically, a La Nina winter has more. A La Nina pattern has more. An El Nino pattern, because of wind shear, has fewer hurricanes than normal. And so more than likely, maybe a little bit more than what you normally would get. But I haven't looked into it in a lot of detail. I'll take a look at that and cover it in more detail. Terry Winkle says hello from Monroe, Ohio. Hello to Monroe. Okay, Amanda Lobuono Bush says, did you say not necessarily in Cincinnati? Yes. So if that severe weather activity develops around the end of the month, the first of next month, it may or may not be in Cincinnati. Okay, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. But all the ingredients are there for at least some place in the eastern United States, let's say between the Appalachians and the Mississippi River, to end up with some severe weather by then. And we'll keep an eye on it and let you know plenty of time ahead of time if it's going to affect us. All right, that's the last comment. That's it. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow at 7:15. We'll take another in-depth look at weather. I'll keep tracking that system that may bring us the severe weather by the end of the month, and we'll let you know more tomorrow. So you have yourself a good evening and enjoy the weather tomorrow. It's going to be a great day to be outside.